My name is Scott Sherman, and I am the mayor of Winona, Minnesota. Yeah, I was prepared to have someone run against me. I had started pulling like bank account out of dormancy, going through old campaign materials. I had talked to members of my campaign team to see if they would be interested in helping me again. So I was surprised when no one had filed to run against me.
And do you have any theories on why there might not be other candidates this year?
I think the funniest or easiest one would be to say no one wants the job. Quite honestly, it is low pay and part time and a large time commitment with a lot of stressors involved in it. So I can see, a lot of people. I think that in general, that's a struggle with running for office or serving for your community, even in a nonprofit or a commission or a committee role. I think that is probably the biggest obstacle is time commitment, taking away from your family life or your work life or your play life, and dedicating yourself to the community as a whole is something that I think is almost unfair to ask someone to do sometimes, especially for the amount or lack of pay that's involved with it. We should be increasing pay for council members so that we see a wider range of participants in that process. While it's nice and easy to have no one running against me, I think it's also unfair to the democratic process to be running solely unopposed. If I talk to, let's say, a mayor from another community, oftentimes they're like, oh, well, that's the best way, unopposed. You must be doing something right. And yeah, I can look at it that way and say, I hope I'm doing a good job of finding collaboration and middle ground, and maybe that's another reason why people aren't running against me is they think I'm doing a good job. But I think ultimately it is a disservice to the democratic process and also our community if we don't have multiple choices to choose who would represent us within our community.
And to clarify, you talked about raising the salaries of city council members, but I know during the meeting you voted against that. Can you explain that a bit?
That was a no-win situation for me, obviously. We had just gone through a tax levy increase, and I had fought to keep where we were at in that percentage of tax increase. It is something I do think strongly that we should get paid more so that we have the opportunity to expand the number of people who would be interested in that role. You can throw a lot of stereotypes out there and say, this person is too busy or this person can't take this time for that amount of pay. And I think to a certain degree that applies to all levels of elected officials, not just city council. So voting no was something that I had to do. I was hoping that it would be passed by the rest of council members, and it did fail 4-3. So if I had voted for it, I would have ultimately got a pay raise increase. But that's not why I'm here. I'm not here for the pay. I get paid well enough in my 9 to 5 job or my regular job, but it does limit the people that would file for office, and that I think is restrictive.
And then